be very painful for you.
Oh.
That was a little vom.
Oh.
So this is going to be about as good as the one with Jacob.
So not.
Yeah, I know what I said.
We're doing a podcast, except
Woo!
instead of Jacob, we have with us today the man, the myth, the legend, Jack Nicholson.
Hi, how are you? I'm here.
It's not bad.
Give me the bat. Memories! Oh shit, wrong joke.
But seriously though, Connor was in the movie that I made with Morgan. It's
Connor Caldwell's
Connor
here.
Caldwell.
Not
Quickly
Jack
and quietly.
Nicholson, in case
Yeah.
you didn't pick that up.
We don't actually have Jack Nicholson. He rescheduled. He'll be here later.
Sorry to disappoint.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd rather have you here.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I feel like Jack Nicholson's probably an asshole.
He's like
Yeah,
the
plus-
Jared Leto of 25 years ago.
Except not as bad.
I feel like whenever the first Batman came out, people were still saying, "Yeah, he's no Heath Ledger."
Like,
probably.
they even knew in the future it was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, that kid.
I
Heath
feel
Ledger.
like 20 years or 10 years, or 20 years. 20 years from now, people are, Dark Knight's going to come out and Heath Ledger's going to star as the Joker. And Jack Nicholson is just going to be dust in the wind compared to that Joker.
And then Jared Leto's going to be the Joker, and then we're going to be like, man, we miss Jack Nicholson.
Do you remember that those pictures that were going around before Suicide Squad came out, and it was a picture of Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, and they were like sitting on a chair. It was like a portrait, and he was like, "Don't worry, Leto will make us proud."
Oh,
And it was just
that's
it's just,
sad.
It's just so untrue, you know.
And then Zach Galifianakis voiced him in Lego Batman, and he was great.
Oh yeah, he was better than Jared Leto's look. The Lego Batman Joker.
Yep.
Had a better look.
I
than the
cared more
Suicide-
about him too, immensely more.
Oh yeah.
The Lego Batman was better than the real Batman.
But Morgan, what about the new upcoming The Batman?
I don't care.
What?
Couldn't pay me to care.
What? What?
I had a topic. This is like, I was gonna
Oh, okay.
sort of somewhat introduce some sort of structure that will immediately fall to shit.
Yeah, this
we
podcast will have a structure eventually.
We saw Alien Covenant tonight.
You'll probably see a video of us
It was
yelling about it.
It was fucking amazing. So I thought we could talk about what is the best horror movie we think, and what is our favorite horror movie, and then what is our least favorite horror movie, and then what do you think is the worst horror movie?
That's a fantastic topic, Morgan.
I'm actually gonna have to think about that.
I'm a smart man,
I may not be a smart man,
but I know what AIDS is.
Oh God, that was so real considering the end of that movie.
Yeah, that was what I was getting at.
I thought you were just saying that to say AIDS.
No.
Okay.
Ah.
Well,
Sometimes I think with my brain.
instead of your penis.
No. Where do you think my brain is located?
Oh,
It really hurts to have sex.
you have not.
You fucking asshole!
You've said that on this, like,
Just wanted to make a
on
joke.
so many channels.
I know, but just let me have my joke.
Okay. Never mind, Morgan just had sex with me.
It was hot.
That was quick.
It's about how long I would last.
We were talking about movies?
Yeah.
Well, see, there's a couple things, is that a lot of people sort of misconstrue, I think, psychological thrillers with horror films a lot. Like, if you want to be, like, if you look at my IMDb favorite movies list, like, what's listed as my favorite horror movie is I Saw the Devil. I do not consider that a horror movie. That is a psychological thriller through and through. I mean, it has suspenseful moments and even horrifying moments, but... Or even Silence of the Lambs. That's considered a horror movie? Not...
Like 7.
Yeah, Seven's not a horror
Like
film.
7's scarier than most horror movies.
Like,
but,
Seven is like Apocalypse Now. It's about horror. It's not horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, oh yeah, well, I mean, I know what my favorite is.
What is
Does
that?
anybody else know what theirs is?
Yeah, I just thought we'd make
Okay.
sure we all had it before.
It's
Wait,
not.
So it's 4 movies.
Yeah, it's favorite, best, least favorite, and worst. And I have seen many good and many bad horror films. Oh, I've seen them.
I don't think we should like pick some random piece of garbage from the bottom of.
No, it should be something that's like terrible, just
Yeah.
fucking awful. But I can
offensive in some way. Or...
I can definitely say my favorite horror film is The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing. It is.
It's a correct answer.
It's a correct answer. John Carpenter's a fantastic director. Even when he makes movies that aren't super good, they're really enjoyable. Like Escape from L.A. is not good. It's funny as fuck though. It's got Kurt Russell in it.
Yeah, I don't really know how bad anything with Kurt Russell could be.
Exactly. But I mean, and speaking of Kurt Russell, he's great in The Thing. And The Thing, I think, is a great horror film because it's not about like. It's purely based on its concept. And it just goes with it. It doesn't waste your time trying to like give backstories to characters. It doesn't try to like do any. It just is what it is, and it doesn't try to be anything else other than an exploration of its core idea, which is an alien that can be anybody, and it instills paranoia throughout the film. Like one thing I love about that movie is the fact that John Carpenter kept the sets as cold as they would be in the Arctic. He kept, like, the interiors of that. Like, when you see people's breath, that's really their breath because it's, like, 40 degrees. And, like, everybody's cold. Everybody was tired during shooting. Everybody was angry, which made it into the movie. And they were all, like there's the... Like, I'm assuming you've both seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. There's that one part where it's right after they find the one guy after the blood test.
It's been a little while, so I might not have any idea what you're talking about, but...
But there's a guy sitting... He's, like, strapped to a chair. And they find the guy who's the monster in the room, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "Now, gentlemen, if you would kindly undo these straps!" And it's like, that's not in the script. Like, there's so many parts where people just get really angry at each other, and fucking eat your oatmeal. Fucking Diabetes is in it. What the hell's his name?
Wilfred Brimley?
Wilfred Brimley's in it.
I don't know how the fuck I knew that.
I don't. But the effects is the reason you watch that movie. Like the monster effects and The Thing are still probably the best practical effects in any horror movie I've ever seen. I can't think of anything better. It's still completely convincing, still terrifying, still impressive. There are just so many scenes where like the animatronics, the puppets, it's so good. And it all works. And it's fucking scary. It's, it makes you paranoid. It's not a movie that I think scares me per se, but it more like it puts you on edge. It's a little bit more psychological, but it's definitely still horror in my opinion. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Are you still thinking?
I think I'm good. I know what I got.
You can go ahead.
Okay. Let me see how I'm going to word this. Well, I've got 3 movies. I've got my favorite. I've got my what I think is the best, and then my least favorite, and what I think is the worst.
We should just
Is definitely the same movie.
We should go like around and
Yeah, like what's your favorite, and then we'll all do our least favorite, and then we'll all like that.
So my favorite horror movie of all time is probably Scream.
Interesting choice.
Yeah. I was thinking about how that movie's structured, the bits of comedy that are in it, and how it just this has been said 1,000 times about Scream, but like it changed the way people looked at horror movies. It definitely knew what it was and knew that it wanted to, I don't know. It was just kind of a revenge movie to like the cliche horror,
But the point of it was to play on cliches, really, to capitalize on
exactly. Them. And I think that what they do in that, it's just like, and you don't even notice that they're doing it until the end of the movie. You're like thinking about it, and you're like, okay, I see what they were doing there.
The sequels got less and less subtle about that, but I think the first one really does nail that.
Yeah. Like then you have the first sequence of that movie has got to be one of the most like iconic scenes of any, like, not just horror, just all film, you know?
It's like parodied out the ass. Everybody knows that.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah,
like
I wish I could still enjoy it.
yeah.
It's honest to God though, that's probably my favorite Wes Craven movie because I'm just not a huge Wes Craven fan, and I used to be more of a fan of the Scream films, but of his films, I think they are the ones that have held up the most.
No.
Even though some of them, like Scream 3 is and Scream 4 is just fucking batshit insane.
I feel like A Nightmare on Elm Street has held up the best because it has become endearing at this point. Like, the first Scream is just so obnoxiously early 90s.
It is a bit.
I can't really enjoy it all that much.
That's
That's not the only reason I don't enjoy it all that much anymore. But
see, Wes Craven never really struck a chord with me other than the Scream films. But I can totally get behind the appeal of them. Like, I really like Matthew Lillard a lot in that movie.
yeah, it's just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, like, and not to mention, it's like, haha,
I don't want to go to jail.
he gets killed by a TV. And who is the Ethan Hawke looking boyfriend?
I don't know.
Billy Loomis, he's
Billy Loomis.
I don't know the actor's name.
I'm gonna look up what the fuck his name is.
Campbell's so damn hot.
I never thought she was. I don't think she's attractive.
I think Neve Campbell is really good in all four of those films. I think she's quite good.
True.
Oh, she's a good actress and
She's
everything.
pretty fantastic.
She's all right to look at sometimes, but Alex always thought she was super
Skeet
hot. But
Ulrich.
is he a
Name is
descendant
familiar.
of
Lars?
Ulrich?
He is in. Let me look at the trivia.
I don't think it's spelled like that.
No.
Let me see it.
Ulrich.
No, it's spelled the
I
same.
don't know.
Skeet.
Let's see.
Skeet
He was in Law and Order Los Angeles.
What?
Ouch.
What?
Exactly. He's not been in anything. Yeah, Scream is pretty much the pinnacle of his career. Oh, well, he played a thug in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Damn!
Oh, shit.
I'm taking off my pants.
But, I can get behind it because it's
very warm.
in many ways, I actually think it influenced horror so much that the cliches it makes fun of are ironic because it created cliches that were then, like, played straight by so many movies who didn't get it. In a way.
Didn't even notice that they were
cross-eyed.
A little bit.
Okay, yeah, I think that one's gonna be my all-time favorite.
And I'll give it it's a tight screenplay. That's a very well written.
Yeah.
Like, for what it is a very, like, well structured, identifiable. Like, I would put that in like a screenplay class of like how to write.
And I was late to the Scream films. I was the first time I ever watched. I still remember watching it on my phone on Netflix. It was October 30th, 2013. So I was definitely late to the Scream party.
God, that was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So I remember being back and forth with thinking that Billy was the killer. And then I don't know, because they pretty much said a couple of times, he's the killer. But then they would contradict it with like phone call stuff, what he would say, how him and Neve Campbell would like interact with each other.
See, that's kind of where the Scream franchise loses appeal for me, because once you like watch them all for the first time and then you get like you get the twists and you know who all the killers are, it becomes a little less fun because then you don't have to like figure it out and piece it together, because those movies really are like kind of enthralling in the way that you're just like trying to study all of the different clues that it gives you and trying to see like, is this a misdirection or not?
Yeah.
It manipulates the audience pretty well. I think I didn't call the twist in Scream 3 because the twist in Scream 3 is pulled straight out of its ass. But
is that the one where it's like the movie set and she's at the end?
that's the one I like the least.
What's the twist in that one?
It's her like long lost brother.
That's
And
retarded.
it's like it's like a soap opera. It's funny. And I'm like, yeah, but you just made it like a soap opera. You're not parodying it. You just did
Remember
that.
I watched like half of it, And I was just like, it's not Liev Schreiber. I don't care.
Yeah.
Turn it off.
See, I think my favorite has been Scream 2. I don't really know why.
I really
Scream
hate
2
Scream 4.
I kind of like Scream 4.
I kind of like Scream 4 too.
If the first one is obnoxiously 1990s, the second one is obnoxiously 2010s.
Yeah, a little bit.
No,
It's Scream 4 is the best directed of all of them, though.
You think so?
I think Scream 4 is
It
the
has
best.
the best look.
It is the best directed, but the worst written.
Yeah.
3 is slightly better written in parts. It's a little bit, but I just don't like that. But I get it.
All right, I'm gonna reveal what I think is the best horror movie.
Wait, let Morgan do his favorite though.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were.
Slow
I thought
your
we were.
fucking roll.
I thought we were doing favorites and okay, yeah.
No, we're doing favorites first.
This one's actually kind of hard for me.
Because there's a lot of... See, I think you're... On a technical level, you're probably the biggest, like, fan of it because you have so many horror movies in, like, your top 25.
Yeah.
It's, like, littered with them. Whereas you have to go down my list pretty far. And I love horror.
I think Alien might be higher on my list now, but I'm gonna go with the Babadook.
I actually thought you would have gone for best for Babadook. That's interesting.
But we didn't rule that out.
Actually, can we add another category?
If it's good.
The scariest movie we've seen.
Okay.
Because it's not necessarily best or favorite. Because Babadook, coincidentally, is the movie that I have seen that has scared me the most.
Okay, so it doesn't even have to be like good or bad. Just
Yeah, it's
what's-
just the movie that has
Okay.
scared you
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most.
I have a good one for that one.
But the Babadook. Duke.
I've never seen a movie that has shaken me to my shook me.
Baba Shook.
Well, fuck you, dude. Baba shook me to my core like that before. Like
It did.
it's a utterly fantastic metaphor about loss and raising a child
Grief.
and grief and
And
like,
just the overall depression.
yeah.
And the look of it
It
is
just looks depressed.
It's bleak. And it's not like in
That
an
is a-
obnoxious, like, Tim Burton black and white kind of way. It's like in a desaturated, like, the life has been sucked from the film.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a black and white in like the favor of just gray.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I feel about that movie.
And the music in the Babadook is fantastic. It's like that whimsical, like...
You know, like the 2 times that there are music in that
Yeah,
movie.
and it's fucking terrifying. And, like,
Alright.
and the sound design in general.
Like-
Ha!
Like the climax, I've never like been more on the edge of my seat for anything in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time I watched it, I loved it, but I don't know. I guess it just kind of had to sit with me. I've seen it twice, and the second time I watched it, I was like in a really shitty mood,
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched it, and then it just completely destroyed me.
Yeah.
Because that's like depression, the movie.
See, there's just, like... What kills part of that climax for me is that, like, visually speaking, I think it's one of the best climaxes I've ever seen in any movie just because of the directing. And, like, just how the room becomes an abyss and just, like, the fucking monster comes out. And then it plays that fucking stock sound effect that I hear in every goddamn movie. And it pissed me off so much because I'm like, you just had to go into the editing software for this one scene and fucking put an effect on that sound to make it sound creepy. Instead of the... It's like fucking... I've heard T-Rexes make this noise in, like, animated movies. And it just took me out of the movie and I was so angry. But the rest of the movie is just so good. It's like... It's a very minor thing, all things considered.
I don't really give a shit about any of that.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's very rare that I connect with a movie like that. And
Yeah.
it is the only it is the only horror movie that I've connected with like that.
It's like I feel like because of the subject matter, if you have experienced depression, it becomes very personal.
Yeah.
Just because it feels like there, you can't. You got to be in a specific mindset to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Like I can watch The Thing pretty much whenever when I want to just like be like excitement.
Spooky.
Yeah, spooky. It's like the Babadook is like I have to feel like dog shit and I have to like embrace it.
Yeah, and like I can get through most of it before the climax, and like just watch it like a horror movie. Like I'll feel like shit because but once I get to the climax, I feel like it's like some sort of out of body experience.
And the acting in
Because
that
it
movie,
is. What acting?
Yeah.
It wasn't a documentary.
Exactly. Why is she not in more?
I don't know. But it's like the most immersed I've ever been in any film, and like it's just so visceral and bizarre, and it just sucks you in, and it says "fuck you, dude."
The Babadook is my favorite movie monster. It's
Yeah.
so well real. Like the way it's
Well-
edited when it shows up is perfect. Like when it's just like the way that movie even utilizes silence. Like when it just fucking floats through the hallway towards the camera. It's like
Fuck.
See, I get chills fucking thinking about it. Like it terrifies the fuck out of me. Or like, and just the way it's edited, like you hear like the bug noises as it like skitters on the roof, and it's like, and you're like, oh, God. And it's just the camera angles in that movie. The way, I mean, like the house is terrifying. It's just a fucking house, but the way it's shot, it's the most terrifying thing ever.
You know how Aaron was just like, that movie was cool until they showed the Babadook, and I'm like, were you paying attention to anything?
Yeah, it's just like, what Babadook?
Motherfucker is so stupid.
I don't know.
Aaron who?
Handsome.
He
Ego
is,
Raptor.
He's a guy on
Game Grumps.
YouTube.
With
Not
really
anyone we
shitty
know.
movie opinions.
All right.
Okay, so that means we're gonna go to best now, I think.
I guess you start.
Best horror movie ever made.
I know what you're gonna say.
It's- Okay, what do you think I'm gonna say?
The Shining.
Damn it! Wow, that was the first one I thought of.
That was gonna be mine.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm gonna look at my list and just make sure I'm gonna say this because I probably am gonna say The Shining.
It's a Kubrick movie.
I did just buy The Shining too.
It's a given.
It's gonna be Alien, The Shining, or oh God. See, there's a lot of horror movies that I wish I could talk about. Like, I don't know why, because it doesn't really. Ooh.
Ah.
Think. Which one? Okay, no, I got it.
Alright.
Best horror movie. The Exorcist.
Well,
Yeah.
The Exorcist, even in concept, is a terrifying film for me.
And is like horribly effective.
It is just. It definitely still does scare me. It's up there with the Babadook in that regard, but is also just a great film in general. Like, all of the acting is perfect. Like, pitch perfect, and it needs to be. Like, the characters are interesting. I think the editing in that movie is phenomenal. Like, when did movies do subliminal messaging before that? Not a lot. And, like, most people don't even, like, notice it. They're just like, what? The Exorcist subliminal messaging? And you go back and you see the fucking face throughout the entire film, and you're like, oh my God, that's fucked up, man. And just the last 30 minutes of that movie are so visceral. Like, that's some of the best filmmaking I've ever seen. Like, when they get into that room, and it's just Damien and the other priest, and they're talking to it, and it's just, like all of it holds up. The effects are fantastic. Just everything about it is terrifying, and I think that's why people are so universally scared of it. It's still a terrifying horror film. It's still better than, like, every Possession movie ever made. And I think what makes it better than The Shining is because while The Shining takes a lot of different measures to scare the audience with filmmaking, is that I think that The Shining is like the film fans' horror movie, whereas The Exorcist is like more broad in its appeal. Like, I feel like it can scare everybody easier than The Shining, because there's a lot of people who could watch The Shining and just not be scared by it. Because it's weird. Yeah. Like, I don't find The Shining scary anymore. I find it off-putting in parts. But there are parts of it where I'll be like, I mean, like the twins, the blood elevator, that shit's still creepy. But, like, when I watch, like, I don't cover my eyes at any part in The Shining. When I watch The Exorcist, I'm like, oh, Linda Blair. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, God. No. It's terrifying. Fuck.
That's the thing about that. I refuse to watch it.
I get why. I mean...
I'll say this about it. I think this is the best way that I can put it. It offends me, like as a human being. I find it offensive. Duly note. It's important to note here that is a good thing. It achieves what it is going for. I just cannot watch it.
Have you ever tried?
Yeah, because it takes every value that I have and it's like, fuck you. Fuck everything you hold dear.
As you are a man of faith, I can definitely understand why that would be the case. Is that not it?
No, that's it. I'm just shaking my head no.
Yeah. I get it. And even as somebody who's very...
I think it's the only movie that has ever offended me.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that I actually think that's the scariest part of the film, as time to release my religious views onto the internet. They're like the most non-offensive things ever. I'm agnostic. So I go very back and forth with religious things, and it's something that I ponder a lot. And The Exorcist does it in a way that is terrifying, because it just makes faith and religion as a concept frightening. And that to me is like, that's some really heavy shit to imply and to think about. It's just unsettling. Like, you don't even have to watch the movie to be afraid by that. You just think about it and you're like, okay.
Guess I'll go slit my wrists.
Life is pointless. Goodbye. So yeah, my pick is The Exorcist. I hate to be cliche, but
I mean,
yeah.
it's just straight up the most effective horror movie ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It wasn't for me personally. Like, The Babadook was more affecting to me because it was more poignant in its subject matter for me as a person. But I think, in a broad sense, The Exorcist. But I'd say The Shining is a close second.
So since The Shining has been said now, I'll just roll that out since I was tying it with something else. Well, if we're going for like the best, most effective horror movie, classic, I gotta go with Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974.
I mentioned that movie earlier. I'm glad you picked that. That's a good pick.
That, like, just, like, I don't know. It hasn't aged the best in terms of, like, film.
Yeah, but it's like
I
a Nightmare
think
on
that
Elm
works.
Street. Because, like, for one, it looks like a Super 8 film, so it's fucking terrifying in that regard.
Well,
Yeah.
it genuinely looks like some, like, guy shot it. Like, it's a real thing that happened,
Yeah.
and someone just
You're
shot
so
it.
close to, like, the characters and everything, like...
And it's not, like, ugly, either.
Yeah.
Like, there are some shots in that movie that are straight up, like, I mean, they're haunting and terrifying, but they're kind of beautiful. Like, the one of him, like, running with, like, the fucking sun in the background. Like, that's some iconic shit right there.
And, like...
It adds to the aesthetic of the film, I think.
It does, but it's also like a Nightmare on Elm Street in that regard, where it's just kind of appealing now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a time capsule of sorts.
Oh,
And it's
funny.
it also understands slasher movies better than any other slasher film, I think. Because it, like...
Got my ass smell on you guys. Could you scoot down? Because I still want to charge this.
Me? Yes, you.
I don't know how much longer I'll last.
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine. Fuck.
No, I won't be.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's because most slasher films are so generic and boring, and they don't get what makes visceral horror like that effective. They don't get setup and payoff like that movie does. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. And just the last scene where they're all yelling for the granddad to, like, beat that girl's head in while she's screaming. It's a long segment too. Like, it's not like...
That's why it works.
Yeah, it's like...
It makes you sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
Like, watching that movie in and of itself is a feat. Because
Yeah.
by the end of it, you're just, like, rattled.
Uh-huh.
It's
gonna-
like a stuff film.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and share my scariest movie that I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I don't know how much longer I'll last with being awake.
Okay.
Me and Alex, a couple years ago, we were going through Netflix. We had the lights off. It was in the middle of the night. We had no idea what this movie was. It was a found footage film too.
Huh.
And I think this is gonna be my answer. Not like, I definitely don't think this is the best horror movie I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
But what it made me feel, and it's not even like, that great of a film,
Uh-huh.
honestly. But the way it made me feel, especially towards the end, like I was actually scared that my life was going to be ended. I don't know. It was this movie on Netflix called Amber Alert,
I've never heard of it.
and it is like it's not even. It's like I don't even remember it being that great of a film.
2012.
Yeah, and it is so just like the ending.
It's not a favorable rating.
Oh no, it
I've
probably
found
isn't.
I've found many lowly rated Netflix films that I have loved though. So
Yeah, yeah.
I get that.
And then I don't know. Okay, so the movie kind of just is generated off this. I mean, like this guy who they suspected has an Amber Alert on, and it's no famous actors or actresses or anything.
Nope.
And so they're following this guy who they think has a little girl in his car. The windows are tinted and everything. They somehow get a mic into his car at a gas station,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just so freaky. Like me and Alex talked about it for a while after, and we thought this had to be real. But I mean, we
So
knew
it was like the realism.
It was like yeah, it was definitely the realism. It was definitely just like at the end of the movie, they get to the guy's house, and the camera is going through the house, and you see cages and stuff, and it's just so. You need to watch it, even if it has a low rating.
I mean, I'll give it a chance because there's like Morgan and I recently watched a horror movie called The Monster, which is like a 5 on IMDb.
Yeah.
Everyone hates it, and we thought it was a fucking like revelation of a film. So honestly, I'm willing to give anything a shot.
Yeah, yeah. And that I wanted to mention another film that kind of gave me the same vibe. I watched it with Alex, Lights Out and everything. It was a Netflix first
That the movie came out last year.
Amber Alert.
No, oh, I thought you said Lights Out.
No.
Yeah, the lights are out.
With the
Already
lights
watched
out.
it.
Oh.
And it's
I
a
thought you
found.
meant
It was a found footage film. It was called Creep.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually pretty effective. I like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
shot of that movie a lot.
With the axe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Well,
This.
you don't see it coming.
Oh, no.
Because it's like a wide shot that lasts like 5 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's just like
There's no music at all.
No, and
Listen.
yep, that's it. It's not like terrific or anything, but it's definitely effective.
I'm gonna say that Amber Alert scared me more, but Creep is probably a better movie.
Creep has
That's pretty solid reviews.
Creep relies on the fact that like the dude in it, the creep, is like hypnotically weird and strange as a presence. Like he's acting like he's in a David Lynch movie, and it's just really off-putting. Because like you can tell from frame one that this guy, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah. So the whole synopsis of the film is this guy. What does he have? Cancer or something?
I think so.
He's got cancer. So I think his wife may be pregnant. Maybe he has a young daughter or something like that. So he hires a guy to come out to his house, which is pretty much in the middle of nowhere, and hires him to film his day-to-day routine, and so that he can. So if he dies of cancer, there'll be video of him, in his last days. So the first thing that this guy makes the filmmaker do is film him bathing in a bathtub. They go walking through the forests and stuff, and like get to caves and like waterfalls, and something's off with this guy. You just don't know what it is. It's just like you can never pinpoint an exact thing, and at the end you still can't even pinpoint anything. He gives off so many different vibes throughout the movie that it's just like, here's this, I'm this way. Here's this, I'm also this way, which completely contradicts the other way I was, and it's just
The fucking wolf mask.
the wolf mask
Fuck
is
that.
yeah.
Fuck that so much.
Yeah.
And not to mention, what's impressive about this movie, there are literally 2 people in it.
Yes, yeah.
2 people.
Yeah.
It's a whole cast.
Yeah.
It's got a 6.2 on IMDb. This guy's a fucking impressive ass director. There's apparently going to be 3 of these, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
the second one's in post production.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to that because if it's, I mean, it's also just two people. So if you stay with that, I'm all right.
I don't know. This shit, like, spoiler. Since we're just diving into movies, the last shot of the film is the film guy.
Mhm.
He's sitting on a bench in a park. It's very, very wide shot.
It's really quiet for a long time.
You get mountains and stuff in the background. You have just people just walking like it's like a park. You know,
Mhm.
it's very public, and you see the guy sitting on the bench. He's facing away from the camera. Then you see the creep guy, who
Just come in from out of frame.
he comes in and he's got an axe and he's looking at him for a little bit, and shoves it right into his head.
Yep.
And you get no music. You don't get a reaction because the guy dies like that. You know.
I think the running theme here with you is that what really scares you is minimalism. Like the
Oh,
closer it is to reality.
Yeah. That's why I've been. You need to watch this guy on YouTube, Mr. Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
He tells like scary, true stories, and like, I don't know, the more real it is, because if you like, a lot of horror movies capture stuff that's a little beyond reach,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, when you hear about things like, what really scares me is like home invasions, when it's not like the fucking strangers. God damn. Okay, yeah, we're gonna fast forward. That's my least favorite and
Oh, I'm
worst
glad you picked that.
worst horror film, Strangers, starring Liv Tyler, and
It's getting a sequel. Like, just got announced the other day.
I don't like horror movies anymore, and the whole industry just needs to stop. I don't like Scream anymore. The Shining is an awful movie. I want every Friday the 13th to be recalled. Nightmare on Elm Street is just a big pile of shit. Fuck The Strangers, and fuck whoever decided to make a Strangers Part 2. I mean, that
That movie's just offensive and how it thinks it's scaring you. And it's like winking to itself. And it's just like, oh wow, but we're really scaring you. But we're really scaring you. And I'm just sitting there bored because nothing's happening.
What scared me the most was that in the beginning, you know, exposition and everything, you're supposed to know that this couple just went through a proposal that got rejected. But they're still like working it out, and they're going back home to that. What I was afraid of was that I was gonna miss that whole thing, because
Oh my god, they mumble.
And then the guy says, I don't know, I mean, you said no, and then I got upset about it. And I guess
What? Speak up!
if that gets a Strangers 2, I'm boycotting.
So that's funny because that's actually something that, like, it's another minimalistic film.
Yeah, but
so
like,
you think it would get you, but it's so obnoxiously made. Why did you do this?
but
Why did you
I think that's trying to be a minimalistic film.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Creep
like
and Amber Alert just kind of went with the flow and took the realistic standpoint.
it was art through adversity. It was the fact that they had no budget, so they just worked with that concept. Whereas The Strangers is like trying to be an indie horror movie, even though it like
The Strangers, like the people who had that probably had a huge budget. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, Creep
Not
probably had a
giant.
budget of like $6.
Oh,
This
yeah.
movie had a budget of this is $10 million in 2008. Fuck you. Fuck you.
That's I think as three of us who love films, I think The Strangers really spits in our faces.
It does.
I think that.
It's because they're like, ooh, we have scary masks, so that's our gimmick.
So what is Friday the 13th? What is Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Are those nothing? Why do you think that those are scary when actual effective masks have like worked before? You know.
You're right.
And then they present these masks and they think that they're so badass because we have $2 million. Oh, you have a mask because you can't see me in the mask.
Fuck that movie.
And when I heard that the last line was, "Why are you guys doing this?" and someone replies, "Because you were home," I thought, God, I can't wait to see this movie. That sounds so badass. And then when I saw that,
fuck that up.
I was
too.
like, how do you fail an execution like that? I could get my phone right now, and me, Jake, and Morgan could stage that exact scene and make it.
We
like,
could make a better
we could
found
make it
footage
so
horror movie
good.
in your basement right now.
Yeah, I have my pants off. That shit's scary as hell. Just hold it close to my ass and let it fog up the lens.
Oh
like,
man.
like I like the Incredible Hulk, and I like Liv Tyler in the Incredible Hulk. She's not terrible. That's the only other thing I've ever seen her in. But
You've seen Lord of the Rings.
oh yeah.
Oh fuck! I know what mine is.
So she
Your least favorite
Yeah.
and worst
Yeah.
at the same time.
Same one.
So I
right.
I really hate Liv Tyler because of this movie. I always had had a weird thing with her face because it just gets on my nerves.
I mean,
Me too.
yeah.
Me too.
I hate her because she's Steven Tyler's daughter.
And Steven
Really?
Tyler is just a
Yeah.
big fucking gorilla.
Yeah. Fucking plastic.
Walk this way. Walk this way.
Fucking
You should have told Liv Tyler to walk the other way when she was born so that the strangers weren't.
sellout bastard.
Okay,
I
so
haven't talked about my best yet. If you,
Yeah,
are
you
you, are
haven't
you done? Are you done?
yeah, he did.
No, I don't know if I have anything else to say about strangers.
You have that on your Blu-ray shelf. I think you need to do something about that.
I've been looking at it the whole time. I see the little unrated tag that it wants to end at the end of it.
it's so brutal.
I watched the unrated version,
I'm sorry.
and it could have been shown to kids. It could have been.
You know that movie, The Monster, we were talking about that had like a 5 on IMDb? That was like really amazing.
Yeah.
Same director.
Really?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Fuck, I forgot.
Brian Bertino. And I'm not kidding. The Monster is legitimately amazing. That sucks a pile of dicks. I don't know what the deal was.
Like, The Monster is a perfectly written script. Setup, payoff, 3-act structure, perfectly just God.
And The Strangers is like one long act.
No, yeah.
It's such artsy bullshit, and I hate that.
Stroking his big artsy dick.
It's like, ask me what it means. Ask me what
But
it means.
Going from like definitely on the minimalistic standpoint, where you have the Strangers, where they had a huge budget but said, let's condense this money into making it look like we had none. And then Creep is like, I wish we had more money. Let's work with what we got. And and Creep is something that is really good. I can watch Creep again. I could probably maybe watch that once a year and let it freak me out.
Yeah.
And like Amber Alert is the same way. I think I tried to watch Amber Alert one more time after that. I watched Amber Alert maybe in 2014 because I still lived in my townhouse that I lived in before this house. That was like summer of 2014, so almost 3 years ago. And I think I tried to watch it again one time. I just farted. I tried to watch it again one time, but I wasn't paying attention to it. So I don't know how much it holds up like with my mind and already knowing what happens.
I'll definitely give that a watch just to.
No, I think I don't know. I think I just find that more interesting if it took like a prisoner's approach, and it was just like some people in a car, and they were like trying to get this guy because they knew he had this kid.
Well, that's the funny thing. That's what The Monster is. It's fucking them in a car. They're just there for most of the movie. They're in one location, being terrorized by something. It's terrifying.
I have a Stewie flash drive. Stewie Griffin.
Stewie Griffin.
He's right in front of the Rick Grimes Funko Pop. Next to the bride.
Oh, yeah.
You pull his head off and you got a little USB port.
So Morgan, what's your best? I'm really intrigued.
I'm ready to hear your worst.
I got words to say.
Do I know it?
Probably not.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, Videodrome.
Drone?
Ooh, good pick. Why Videodrome?
Because it's disgusting.
You are correct.
Wait, this is your best?
Yeah.
In terms of horror films, one I did really want to talk about. It's just on the peak of true greatness that I wanted to kind of talk about was The Fly.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I fucking love Cronenberg's The Fly.
Mhm.
But I like Videodrome as well.
It is also on the verge of perfectness.
Mm-hmm.
But I have never felt more disgusting in my life. I've never felt like more of a shitty person.
Yeah.
it's just, it is so effective in its strange, charming, Cronenbergy 80s way, and it just takes your mind and it drills a hole in it, and then it fucks the brain hole.
We're talking about The Fly, right?
No, Videodrome.
Videodrome.
Videodrome is, you probably don't know.
No, I've never even heard of
So,
it.
Is that James Woods?
yeah.
Yep.
He's a fucking cunt.
He's great at playing one,
Well, yeah.
and he is one.
Well, it's a guy who owns a TV station, and it's like a news station, right? And, shit, I barely remember what the movie's about.
They start getting this weird channel on, like, they like start receiving this random channel that they don't know where it comes from, and it's like weird snuff films and just like disgusting, awful shit. And he's just like, "Where's this coming from? What is this? I'm James Woods. What the fuck's going on?" And then fucking he starts putting that on TV and watching it also, because more people will watch it because they'll watch disturbing, violent, fucked up shit. And then he starts watching it. And it just slowly escalates. And that's the funny thing, too. Videodrome is like 74 minutes long. It's a short movie.
Yeah.
It's effective. Really brutal and effective.
I can barely remember what it's about, just because I've never felt like a more brilliantly portrayed spiral into madness.
I'll agree with you that I actually don't remember a lot of what happens, because I wanted every scene that started to creep me out and make me, like, revolted to be over so quickly. I was just like, please be over. Please be over. Please be over. Please make me stop looking at this. That is a very interesting pick.
That being said, I need to watch it again.
Yeah, me too. I love Cronenberg.
Shit.
What's the movie?
Is there any way you can get like something from a phone onto your TV?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Hey, Connor.
Huh?
Is there any way you can get something from a phone onto your TV?
No, my old Blu-ray player that's upstairs could have done it, but this one just plays
I can
Blu-rays.
use my computer.
Damn. Yeah, we should do that.
Anywho, that is
I'm gonna be up for a while.
That was a really
I'm
interesting pick. I'm glad you picked that.
I was thinking either it had to be body horror for me, because that's always
Body
effective.
horror is terrifying. I agree. It's something that fascinates me, which is why I love Cronenberg.
Because it was either The Shining, Alien, or Videodrome, and I think I went Videodrome just because I feel like Alien just isn't scary enough.
I agree. I think Alien, part of the weakness of that film is that it's become so ubiquitous that
It's just like a part of...
you've known,
Like-
people who haven't seen Alien have probably seen every part of that movie just through cultural osmosis.
Yeah, okay, if it was in Spaceballs, it can't be the best horror movie ever. I'm sorry.
Darth Helmet.
We ain't found shit!
That's how I felt about Harry Potter. Like I hadn't seen Harry Potter.
Oh, you mean like you've seen like so
But
many?
I
parts of
had
it?
never seen Harry Potter until about
It's like 2-3 months ago.
February.
Oh wow.
I started collecting them. I have all 8 movies now, but I had seen all 8 movies. You know,
Yeah,
I
you just
knew.
know what all happens.
Yeah,
It's like me with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny, 'cause I was, to go back a bit to what we were
And
talking
Psycho.
about,
And Fight Club. And Full Metal Jacket.
with body horror,
And American Psycho.
is that The Thing, body horror,
Yeah.
but a lot of the things that, like, I love very dearly, that aren't explicitly horror, have that in it. Like, my favorite thing of all time in general, favorite work of fiction, is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. That show is like steampunk alternate history, World War II, weird, cool shit. Has body horror laden throughout it. All over it. And it just fascinates me. Like, just looking at that kind of shit, I'm just like, this is terrifying, but I can't quite look away. Like, The Fly, like, I mean, good fucking God, the practical effects in The Fly. Oh, boy. So, who was this review for? What?
That's typical.
I guess. But, Morgan, Is your worst and least favorite the same?
I actually haven't picked those yet, so
Okay,
you
I'm
won't
gonna-
fucking talk about that shit while I look.
Let's wrap this up, boys.
You're not gonna be surprised when I say it, but my least favorite, and in my opinion the worst, and I even have trouble kind of saying it, but the ending cements it for me that I can consider it quote unquote horror, is Megan is Missing. For those of you who watch one of my favorite internet critics, YMS, you are undoubtedly familiar with his infamous Megan is Missing review. And I took it upon myself. I watched that to the point of me being like, I just don't think a movie this bad can be real. I have to see this for myself. And I did.
And it was real.
And it was somehow worse than he made it out to be, and that's one of the movies he's given a 1. And I'm like, and it also is mine. It's one of the like 10 movies I've given a 1. Not only because it's a bad film, not only because it's not scary, not only because it's boring, poorly made, poorly acted, literally everything about it bad. It's just, it's so fucking boring.
It's a bit like if Videodrome had no one with talent behind it.
A bit. So, for those of you who don't know, if you haven't seen the review in question, Megan is Missing is a faux found. Actually, you know what it is? It's even shittier Unfriended.
Yeah.
It's about.
Did you see Unfriended?
No.
It was a fat pile of shit.
It was
Remember
awful.
the den we watched?
Oh yeah, that fucking sucked a dick too.
So, Megan is Missing is about
It's the same
a
movie.
girl a girl named Megan who goes missing, and it's supposedly. That's another thing that I find like just intellectually offensive about this movie, is that it pretends to be real, and it's like, this movie was made by assembling computer files, cell phone transmissions, and like Skype calls, and it's like, first of all, Skype does not record your calls. You could not have intercepted this, and in 2000 and whatever the fuck, there is not software that these girls were using to record their Skype calls.
It's like, shit, dude,
These-
the Patriot Act isn't that effective.
And like, they're all got like these fucking 2006 phones that shoot HD video, and like all of like every level of the production of this movie is so fucking fake and transparent that like, if you're going to commit to the minimalist horror thing, like when Connor was talking earlier about minimalist horror, movies like Creep, they are minimalist. It's just a guy with a camera. That's it. Whereas this movie is like inconsistent in everything it fucking does. And like the sound design and mixing is fucking off. Like there's a scene with a party and it keeps cutting forward in time, but the song in the house is not. So it's the same song, like it's like a fucking like shitty modern Green Day song or something it's playing.
Isn't he like the director of it? Isn't he like the king of editing or whatever the
Yeah,
fuck?
he's like the president of the American Society for Cinematographers. And this movie is shot like ass. It is flat. It is boring. And I haven't even gotten to the shit that really pisses me off. The acting
Oh, it's deep.
in this movie.
It's just deeply offensive.
Like, there's not a single line of dialogue in this entire fucking movie that you will believe for a goddamn second. Taking actors that haven't been heard of and using them in a movie like this is not uncommon. And sometimes the acting isn't great, but it is impressive at how consistently untalented everything is in this movie. Anything that's also, like, staged, like news reports or whatever, is so, like, laugishly amateur, you would see better imitations on media arts projects in our high school. The editing,
It's not funny because he's right.
it's, like, you know how when you, like, watch one of the media arts presentations, and then they have, like, a title card pop up, and they use the default font,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh god damn it. Or when the credits roll, and they use the default font, or they use the transition that's super tacky and breaks your immersion, you're like, that's a transition that's in Final Cut. There are transitions like that in this movie. And another thing is that the director of this movie talks about it like it's this important fucking piece of work. Like, it's this, like, based on a true story shit. And what really pisses me off is the fucking ending. Is when it shows you these supposedly real pictures that have leaked online of the girl that went missing, and they're the, ooh, we're gonna be all silent and show you the pictures, and it's gonna be terrifying because, ooh, this really happened, which it didn't, because the pictures are of the actress, so it's fake. And then it's like, this is real footage that was found of the killer that went and hid her body, and it's him, for no reason, filming himself killing this girl, hiding her body in an oil drum and burying it. For no reason.
Also, there's the fact that people actually get kidnapped and murdered,
Yeah,
and just shit on them.
it's, and just, like, every element of this, even the elements that take place external to the film, offend me as a human being and as a lover of cinema. It's astonishing. That's all I'm, like, emotionally prepared to say. There's only, like, maybe 2 horror movies I hate that much, but I think that Megan is Missing is the worst one.
Please tell me Strangers is another.
What?
Please tell me Strangers is another.
It's close. It's very close, but I think the only other horror movie that I just straight up hate that much, for a lot of oddly similar reasons, and I hate to say this considering somebody was in it who I greatly respect and love, but Sorority Row, the remake.
Oh, Carrie Fisher was in that.
Yeah, that's why I hate saying that I hate it so fucking much, but it's like, you know how horror movies come out and they, like, you know how Scream kind of launched that thing of, like, we're gonna be a parody, and then a bunch of horror movies... And then a bunch of horror movies come out, and they're like, oh, we're gonna be self-aware. And it's like the most not like every fucking shot in that movie is like an in-joke. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if, like, the inciting incident in this movie, like, the girl's murdered, and they, like, try to cut up her body, but they try to cut up her body with a tire iron? It's a thing that happens in that movie. And it's not even funny entertaining, it's just like, fuck you. Like, it's just like, oh, we're so clever playing on all these horror tropes, right? And it's just, like, so obnoxiously violent, and it's just, like, everything in the movie you can predict a mile away, and it's, like, so, like, all the acting is, like, it's intentionally bad. Like, no, it's just bad. Fuck you.
There's a lot of titties in it too, right?
Yeah, and it's all
Thought
terrible.
so.
Like, there was a period where Zach Trey and I, freshman year...
Yeah, look, Bruce Willis' daughter.
Oh, God. There was a period in my life where when Blockbuster was still open, Zach Trey and I would spend pretty much every weekend at Trey's house, and we'd rent shitty-ass horror movies, and we'd watch them all, and occasionally we'd find good ones that we kind of liked, like Sinister or whatever, or the VHS movies. But, man, I remember seeing one movie that's, like, this movie that basically completely takes place, I think it's, like, in England or something, and, like, the bad guy is, like, a plague doctor dude, and... This is another one of, like, if I can actually find what this movie's fucking called, it'll get, like, a solid 1 from me.
Sounds intriguing.
It's, they're all in, like, it's all in, like, this industrial place. Like, it's all shot in that dream place in Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's got a bunch of stupid teenagers, and, like, one of them's pregnant, and it has the single worst twist in any movie I've ever seen. Because it's just this movie, it's, like, it's shitty, it's cliched. It's got, like, one effective kind of scene. And it's, like, this slasher, and he's going around, and they discover, like, this place had, like, oh, experiments and plague doctors that did shit, oh boy. And then at the end, like, the reason they're stuck there is because they accidentally hit this girl in a car, and then she just disappears. And then the end is just, like, time travel. And they hit the main character. And it was her the whole time.
Cool.
And it's like, what? And it never explains it. It does not even attempt to explain the fact that there is time travel in the film. And I'm like, well, fuck you then. You just don't care. You could have just had an ending. Fuck you.
I forgot about the movie When a Stranger Calls. I feel like that's worth noting.
That's a really bad one.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that I love, like, the...
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
That is from the director of The Expendables 2,
That makes sense.
The Mechanic, starring
makes
Jason
sense.
Statham, Lara Croft Tomb Raider,
Also makes sense.
and Con Air.
Put the bunny.
Money back in the box.
I'm shocked that this movie has a 5.
Yeah, that's
Actually
nice.
shocked.
That's really nice.
Like, is that the movie? What is the movie that has on the poster? It's like the woman with the phone.
One missed call.
Yeah, I love that image. The movie's shit.
Yeah, the movie's such dick.
But like, you see the trailer for that, and it's horrifying because it's like this lady, and she's got the fucking phone, and her eyes are mouths, and it's like, ugh. But did you figure out what yours is? Because I'm
My
genuine.
worst?
Yeah, worst or least favorite.
I don't know about my least favorite. I like deliberately go out of my way to not watch horror movies I don't like.
Oh my god, Clark Gregg is in When a Stranger Calls.
Oh fuck. Okay, I know what my least favorite is. Never mind.
Okay.
My least favorite is the Rob Zombie Halloween 2.
Oh, that's a great fucking pick. I loathe that film. I'm gonna rate that real quick. Actually, I fucking hate
It
that
is
movie.
it is deeply unpleasant in all of the ways horror should not be.
You know how we talked about how Texas Chainsaw Massacre understood how to be a slasher film and did it effectively and real?
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is like the mutated Frankenstein's monster of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's fucking... Oh my god. How did I not rate... I'm glad it has a 4.9. Fuck this movie so hard. 1. Fuck you. It's offensive.
Yeah.
This movie has... You know what scene really led me into it? It's like when... Isn't it Octavia Spencer?
I don't fucking know.
Oscar winner Octavia Spencer is murdered by Michael Myers. And it is this overlong, just laboriously difficult to watch murder scene of Michael stabbing this woman. Like, she is long past dead, and he keeps stabbing her over and over and over, and you're like, God. And just every character is the most unlikable. Because Rob Zombie's like, I gotta make every character be the fucking family from
Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects, because I'm Rob Zombie, and I gotta make they have like Brad Dourif playing
You know, I feel like this is Jacob's idea of nihilism.
Ringline?
Yeah.
No, he fucking hates this movie.
No, I know, but I feel like it's his
Oh.
idea of nihilism because he's like, everybody's an asshole, so why should I not be an asshole?
Yeah.
Like, thanks,
Yeah.
Jacob. Fuck you.
But like, honestly, and I hate all of the surreal shit. Like when it's like, oh look, it's his mom
God,
riding
yeah.
a horse. It's like, fuck you.
I like how you remember all of these details from it.
I do.
I don't remember shit.
You shouldn't.
I'm glad. No, I'm deeply glad.
And it like,
I just remember it being like AVP Requiem Dark.
yeah, it is. And like, all of like the paramedics, like Brad Dourif's playing a paramedic, and it's like, wouldn't it be funny if we fucked the dead body? And they like keep joking about it, and I'm like, that's not funny.
No, you twats.
And it's like, oh, they die. I guess that's supposed to be satisfying, but everything in this movie makes me feel empty. Like, when you can be worse than Halloween 6, how? Genuinely, that's impressive.
I haven't even seen Halloween 6, and all you have to say is the words Halloween 6.
And Tina. And, you know, I don't hate Rob Zombie. I really don't.
I don't think I do either. I might hate him for this, but...
Like, his films, in general, first of all, visually, I quite like him.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Lords of Salem is not a good movie, but man, that's got some cool imagery in it. Like, if you want to see cool shit, that's a really good movie to watch. Just to, you know, fuck around with. It's not great or good, even. But, like, he's got a good... he's got talent, is what I'm saying. Like, and he's got an eye for visuals. Like, the guy knows how to make shit work. He's kind of like Marilyn Manson in the way that I don't like a lot of his stuff, but I appreciate the way he does what he does. In the sense that, like, he plays to his strengths so well he's obnoxious, but he knows that's what people want from him. So it's like,
You know what I
Alright.
call that?
exploitation.
No, I call that a fucking sellout.
A bit, but I think Rob Zombie, oddly enough, does it with a little bit more dignity than most people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I hate that he fucking put Sherry Moon Zombie in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can't act.
No, and she's like Michael's mom, isn't he? Yeah, she's Deborah Myers. It's fucking stupid. And, like, again, this movie... And also, the girl who plays Lori, fuck her.
The main girl.
She's awful. And Lori is so unlikable. And, like, Jamie Lee Curtis in the original Halloween is, like, one of the most iconic horror protagonists, and she's, like, thoroughly likable. Thoroughly. In this, she's just a huge bitch. Huge.
Hang on. Talk amongst yourselves. I have to find a clip.
And, like, this movie has a good... Like, it's got fucking Malcolm McDowell in it.
Well, Malcolm McDowell, post A Clockwork Orange, will be in anything if like they tickle his
That's
pickle.
true.
I actually think that the first Halloween Rob Zombie is enjoyable.
I do, too.
I like it.
I do, too. I don't think it's... You know, it's not nearly
I
as
don't
good
really
as...
think I'd call it enjoyable just because it's so damn mean-spirited.
That's true.
But that's what I like about it, though. I
But
think that
I-
Michael Myers needs to be that.
He added an edge to it.
No, it's not. It's not that Michael Myers is mean-spirited. Of course he is.
It's the film that's
It's the
mean-spirited.
fact that literally everyone in that movie is.
Yeah, it's still like, if you're gonna remake a movie, do it like that and do it with a voice. They didn't just... It wasn't a fucking Michael Bay Platinum Dunes remake where they redo all the most boring parts of the movie, like fucking Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th. And I respect that. And, like, Rob Zombie's made. Like, House of a Thousand Corpses is... Devil's Rejects is
It's
pretty
better
good.
than most movies with the word house in the title.
Yeah.
Most
fucking-
horror movies. I mean.
What House of the Devil is a Ty West movie, I think, and I fucking hate Ty West.
You guys want to put on a movie soon?
A what?
A movie soon.
Bitch, do we sound like we done?
When we can after that. Though.
Yeah.
God, Rob Zombie is credited in so many bad movies for soundtrack. He was in the he did the music for
Okay.
The Matrix Reloaded.
That sounds about right. That's brightness, not volume. I'm a dumbass. This is my clip to describe what's her face from the Halloween 2.
That's not what this is saying.
I thought you were gonna get that.
Cunt!
You cock juggling thunder cunt.
No, I mean I don't want to dignify her with Ryan Reynolds.
You got a point. Did you is that your least favorite?
Yeah.
Do you figure out your worst?
No, I don't like. That's just I don't know.
Because the thing is with that movie is that what puts it above other ones for me is that it isn't poorly made. It's poorly structured, but as a film,
I don't know. I think that lighting makes it pretty poorly made.
that's I'm trying to think of other ones that I just hate so much. Look at films I've given shit scores to.
God bless.
Thank you, child. God bless America. Does God's Not Dead count?
Yes.
Oh, do anthology films count?
Meaning?
ABCs of Death.
Oh. No, I don't think so. I feel like that's a bit of a cop out.
It is a bit, just because it's like, but, ugh. There's some movies that I've given, like, really shit scores to, like, Jaws the Revenge, but I can't find it within myself to hate that movie. It's hilarious.
It's also not a horror movie, really.
Yeah, I guess. There's some movies that are, horrifying, like The Last Airbender.
God's Not Dead.
God's Not Dead. Friday the 13th. That's pretty bad. Oh yeah, I did give a 2 to It.
The miniseries?
Mhm. Is that your least favorite?
Okay, switch Halloween 2 and put the It miniseries in my least favorite.
Wait, the one that I have on Blu-ray right
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
It's abysmal.
It's a dismal, awful piece of shit. Especially when you've read the book.
the book's a goddamn masterpiece.
When's the last time you watched the miniseries?
It was over the summer.
And did you watch all of it?
I fell asleep through the middle part.
That sounds right.
Yeah? Because
See,
it's the most boring thing.
Everyone likes that movie because they watched it when they were 7, and it was like Tim Curry's Scary, so it's good.
But you know who could probably read the book and still absolutely love that?
Hmm.
Guess.
Alex?
No. Even worse.
David?
Even worse.
Cutter?
Yes.
I was gonna say Cutter.
He loves that.
Well, he's a very stupid man.
I'm not arguing with you there. There's no argument. He is very
It's
stupid.
like, not only does it just shit on something that's phenomenal,
Yeah.
it's, you know what my least favorite part of it is? It's like, it's not the horrible acting, the horrible writing, the subpar directing, like, the most things. It's the goddamn lighting.
Yeah.
It looks like a 90s TV movie, because it is.
It looks like Seinfeld.
But yes, it is lit like a comedy. Everything has this white bloom in it, and it is so fucking horrid to look at.
We seriously just need to take like one Saturday evening out and just commentate.
Riff on it.
Yeah, just commentate.
Yeah,
over it.
I'm totally down for that. It's the only thing that holds me back from doing it is that it's so goddamn long.
Yeah.
Like the child parts are like the Stand miniseries. It's passable.
I wouldn't even say that.
Parts.
Jonathan Brandis, Seth Green, and a few of the other kids are pretty decent. But again, there's still adults in it.
Mhm.
Like,
Also, Tim Curry's not scary.
no.
No, he's
It's fucking stand up.
he is very watchable.
In the fact that he's funny.
Mm-hmm. Like he's the best part, but only because he stopped me from being.
Do you have
Just-
him in a can? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Kiss me, fat boy. Oh,
I
they
just-
float.
I
They
just-
all
It's
float.
like, all right, Tim, put your boner down. I just remembered Henry.
Say goodbye.
I'm going to the one place capitalism hasn't ruined. Space.
I just remembered Henry Bowers and his fucking Misfits haircut.
You know, I remembered?
Yeah.
Fucking the reaction shot of when she sees him, once he's killed himself, and wrote "it" on the side of the bathtub.
Oh, no!
It's that music that's like... It's the worst fucking music. And I also love the... Why is it so mean? Oh my god.
You guys want to watch Coraline?
Yeah.
You want me to put
Yeah.
that in right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of movies that are terrifying...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna
Oh, I
watch
thought you were about to say terrible, and I was about
No!
I would be so wrong.
Not only do I love Coraline, the book it's based on is magnificent.
Is that just called Coraline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's Neil Gaiman, the guy who wrote American Gods and most good pieces of fiction in the 21st century.
Let's watch this shit.
American God. You probably like American Gods.
Because it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird and
The fact that you don't, like, you're the only person who the fact that if you don't read the book, it would benefit you.
yeah.
Because you'd be like, I don't even want to know what's happening. This is fucked. It is very David Lynch in that respect, but since I know what's going on, it's more logical.
Oh shit, we were gonna watch Videodrome.
What?
We can watch Coraline first.
Yeah, but I'll probably fall asleep.
Oh, movies
Oh.
are short though.
No, Videodrome sounds good. I would want to watch that. You know, being
I'll send
awake.
you a link sometime.
Yeah. I got your bed over there.
Yeah.
Jake and Morgan will probably be up longer than Connor.
Probably,
Yeah.
but not doing a podcast.
But yeah, it's a piece of shit. And the new one's gonna be great, and it's just gonna make me hate the
Yeah,
old
no.
one
If we're
even
gonna
more.
if we're gonna talk about favorites like 6 months from now, this will be a different conversation.
Yeah, that's the only movie that has a shot at being the best horror movie for me personally.
What is it?
It.
Oh yeah.
And I love like the director Andres Muschietti did Mama, which I really really like, and nobody talks about it. It's like Guillermo del Toro, but if not made by Guillermo del Toro. I think he produced that movie actually.
You did.
Yeah. And it feels like it's very like fairy tale tragedy kind of thing.
I would have said Pan's Labyrinth for the best horror movie if it was like a horror movie.
I was gonna say. I mean, that's the thing though, is that Pan's Labyrinth. I like this movie a lot. Pan's Labyrinth is one of those movies there. It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs in the sense it's like it's got horrifying parts.
This is so much like Pan's Labyrinth.
Holy fuck, you're right. Yeah. Pan's Labyrinth based on anything?
Nope. Del Toro's just a motherfucking genius.
That's true. So I guess it's the end of the podcast now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, boy.
It was pretty fun
It
though.
was better than the one with Jacob.
Not because of Jacob, just because we talked about things.
No, I just think somebody put something in our drinks.
Maybe that's it too. Cocaine.